Hello YouTube again. This was round 4 of the National Open. Right after a devastating loss. It was the next day. So I wouldn't say that I was really recovered from it yet, even though it had been a full day since the last one. I was paired with another master who was old, and I don't know, this game kind of hurts a lot because it's another one where like after this game, I like had no idea what I had done wrong. I had no idea, and I was like devastated because again I knew I was winning at one point because I was completely winning, and I just sat there after my game was finished. I didn't get up, and I just went through the game in my head trying to figure out like what the fuck I did wrong, and I was like circling moves like that are possible mistakes and trying to figure out, and it's kind of funny because at one point I circled the move where it was the only winning move that I played, and yet I still was like, maybe that was the mistake, like I don't know. But I was coping, I just didn't know how to handle it. So, alright, we have a Benoni. He's playing like a weird move order. I know that like it's better to just go e4 here, but after the last game I played and my time management issues, I was just trying to not spend so much time on normal moves, and I thought that g3, like, it's still a good move and it keeps me in a structure I know a little bit better, so I decided to do that. And most of these opening moves I'm not really spending any time, which is good. This is a big improvement. I shouldn't be spending time here. And in this position, okay, so Black's plan is to play b5. That is the point of this. And the whole idea is if I play a4, then I'm weakening the b4 square. So then he's going to go back. And I kind of weighed my options for a little bit. And I ended up just playing a4 because I kind of just trusted my gut on this one, and it is the best move. Like, I would rather, like, what is his knight really doing here? I don't really think I care. I think it would be a lot worse to allow him to play b5 and get his queenside going. Okay, but a4... Knight a6. And here's the first move I circled on my score sheet as a possible place where I have gone wrong. Yeah, Dean Brown Benoni, yeah. Except Dean went and did this like really quickly, and it was weird. So, okay, e4 is normal. And I ended up playing knight d2, like so I could get e4 and f4 in quickly. But my pawn is on c4, so it just doesn't like make much sense. Better if I want to move my knight is knight e1 and playing knight d3. This just aligns better with the position, and it really supports e4, f4, e5 very nicely. Which I didn't really... You know, I was pretty on the fence about this move, but I didn't think it could be that bad. And the reason it says mistake is like white's like plus 1.5 here. I know white's only like plus 0.5. So my position is still good, but e4 and then black is being weird. So he doesn't punish it at all. He just plays bishop d7, which is just a nothing move. And now my position's good again. I think the way to punish this is knight b4, e4, and e6 maybe? But even this, like, I don't even really understand why white's position is so much worse than here. I guess it's the main thing is my knight is just better on d3, I guess. I don't think I really understand. My opponent was a chess master. And then it says bishop f4. Am I the only one who thinks that move looks a little bit weird here? I guess I'm just playing e5? Is that the idea? Is it typical when this pawn has not been pushed yet though? Because I would definitely call it typical then, but when this is still like this, I don't know. It just felt weird to me. I think if you let the computer think, it doesn't like bishop f4 anymore, actually. Yeah. I think bishop f4, knight h5, bishop e3, e5, or something. And the knight's not really doing anything, I guess. White has space and better pieces. So I guess I understand. But now my position is just fine. Knight b4, f4, knight d3, knight f3. And this caused me a lot of stress, giving up my dark squared bishop, because you kind of need a dark squared bishop Like, I felt like I needed one, but at the same time, he moved this knight 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times to take an undeveloped piece. And I feel like that's an okay trade-off. And I'm correct, kind of. It doesn't really make sense to try and save this piece. It just doesn't, so... But the problem is it's really hard to do much without my Darksword Bishop, which we'll understand. But, Bishop g4, this guy was playing even, like, this was the guy who was playing faster than anybody I had played so far. He still had 91 minutes. And you might be wondering, well, didn't you start with 90 minutes? Yes. My opponent had 91 minutes here. And, I had 78. So it's not like I'm spending a ton of time, but my opponent is playing Blitz with me. So h3, and here I thought for a little bit about what the best piece to take back with. What do we think? What piece makes the most sense to recapture here with? Hello, Kubli. 91, that's a lot of minutes. That's true. Queen. Do you write down the time after every move? I do. Because I'm trying to figure out why I spend my time in such a weird way. So the chat is all wrong. The best piece to take with is the bishop. And the reason being is we've cleared the second rank for rooks because we're going to attack the man. Is what we're going to do. And bishop f3 also is nice because it supports h5 at some point. So that's why I took with the bishop. So queen b6. And I don't really think I give a shit. I played queen d3. And you'll notice that taking this actually loses the queen. Because I think... Yeah, queen c2 here. I think I have other moves, but queen c2 is pretty simple. And I'm just threatening rook b3, and there's nothing you can do about it. Well, if I play rook a1, he goes here, and then I have problems on the dark squares. But queen c2 would have been nice. So my opponent didn't take on b2, because that would be losing. So queen d3 was my little tricky move. And my opponent played a6, instantly, of course. So I completely missed my opponent's idea. And it's pretty interesting to understand the 3 best moves here by the computer, after you see how what I did was very bad. I played g4, because I thought this was the plan. This was clearly the plan. Because he's not really getting a whole lot of play on the queen side, I thought. But knight d7, rook c2, because now he's threatening to take on b2, because then the knight will be hanging. That's the point of this move. And I played rook c2, and he played queen b3, which I just completely overlooked. I was overlooking... Josh noticed that I was just not considering a lot of active moves for my opponent this whole tournament. Like, I just wasn't considering active, obvious moves. And now my position's kind of stinky. Like, how do I get this queen out of here? I don't know. But if we go back to this position, the 3 best moves are b3, queen c2, and rook b1. And they all have to do with just shoring up the b3 square. Like, they all have the same idea. So I think that's... The computer wants to play this in a very slow way, which is cool. But I am a monkey, so I played g4 and rook c2, and he went here. And white is worse. White is worse. Bishop d1... There's like knight b6, and then like what? Like what the fuck? Like I went through this whole horrible process in my head. Like bishop d1's no good. I couldn't find a move, honestly. I couldn't find a move that I liked. Because knight b6 is coming. So I could either play bishop e2 and just defend it and just be like worse, or I think rook d2 for some reason. Maybe to... the position is bad. Like I don't... The computer is making like small... I don't know, has small opinions about each move, but essentially, white's position is bad. I played a5, and you know, I understood that his other idea besides knight b6 was b5, but I didn't know like how the hell to stop it. I thought knight b6 was a bigger problem than b5. And after b5, I played bishop d1. And he has to be kind of accurate here because his little queen's running out of little squares. And my idea is I'm just gonna like sack a pawn and just pretend like everything's fine. So, okay. Another interesting point here is this pawn sack is quite reasonable. The only thing is that I didn't see a big difference between these two moves. I thought queen g3 made a lot of sense. And I thought keeping the f file open made sense. However, there's a reason why queen f3 is very good and queen g3 is not very good. And it's, I mean, queen g3, like the idea, like I need to get e5 in. I would like to. Maybe I can't. But okay, so the difference between queen f3 and queen g3 is after queen g3 he has g5. And I'm gonna get killed on the dark squares. Because in this position I don't have e5 because this is a tempo on my queen. While in the position with queen f3, g5, I have this, and I have this intermezzo, and white's doing fine. So thankfully my opponent was playing bullet, and he just went here to attack this pawn that had a lot to do with the position. And now I'm fine again. h4. And we see the plan. Queen takes a5. Well, he's a master. He could have found g5 if he fought for more than like 10 seconds. And so here, all right, what is the correct pawn push? Let's see how much Sarah thought here. I only thought for 2 minutes on this move. I have 45 minutes, my opponent has 80. Yes, g5 is the best move here. So I think that's kind of cool. You have like a key square going on here. Like often in chess, if your opponent has a good move, like the best thing to do is put a pawn on that square. Like if they have a good pawn move, then you make that pawn move. g5 is nice because it makes a lot of sense for many reasons. So number one, I only have a light squared bishop. So my pawns should complement the light squared bishop by controlling the dark squares. Number two, we are freezing the pawns like this, trying to make h5 and f5 even stronger because I'm already controlling their the next squares. And number three, I'm opening this diagonal up for potential discoveries on the knight. So g5 was pretty good by me. Arrows. These are the two best moves. And the funny thing is, they're exactly the same, according to the computer. However, when I did computer analysis, just like click the computer analysis on Lichess, it gave my move inaccurate, even though it's exactly the same as the other best move. I don't know what that was about. I let the computer think for a long time, and both moves are good. So it's really a matter of taste here, what you want to play first. Because they're kind of just going to transpose into each other. So I don't understand, the computer originally gave this move inaccurate, and it's good. So h5, rook d8, and, you know, this is like kind of a transposition. So I don't understand why it's giving inaccurate too, because this is the same position, and it still gave him inaccurate here. Well, I actually do understand. It's because I don't have to play queen h3 now, and he played this for no reason. I played bishop g4, which is a mistake. And this is a very nice point in the game. Critical point. And this is, I think I circled bishop g4. Yeah, I circled bishop g4. The good news is, just going through the game in my head afterwards, like without a board, I was able to identify like all the critical points in the game just in my head. Like I gave queen g3 like... Oh wait, no, I did that afterwards. But g5 and bishop g4... like when my opponent could have played g5. Alright, what do we want to do? Game analysis only depth of 24, that makes sense. That's how they do it so fast. So, okay, to achieve this attack, we want to open the F file probably. Or open one of these files, this work can come anywhere. The reason behind my move was just to control, I don't remember exactly, something about the light squares. But, the key idea here is e5 followed by f5. It's very nice. It's much more accurate to take first, and then e5, and then f5. And what we've done is we've plugged up the dark squares. So now his bishop's not going to get us. I'm down 3 pawns, and white is just better. Because, okay, I mean, just look at it. Like, the knight's completely dominated by pawns. The rooks are not on open files. The queen is like, often her own little world. And the rooks are just, like, ready to attack. So that's a very nice idea I didn't see. I think I was definitely trying to play a little faster at this point. What is this? $5. 5 cent. What is that? That's a new. Thank you for the $5, Kelox. Great feature. Nothing can go wrong with it. Wow. Knight f8. I was happy to see. I didn't really get the point of this move. And again, I should play e5. Like this. Wish I didn't. That's a really nice pattern to know. I just played f5 right away. And now his bishop gets in. And I thought this was okay. But then my opponent played this and this. And I'm not doing well. I didn't see rook takes b2 coming at all for some reason. Again, another active, obvious tactical move I just missed. This move was possible for like 4 moves in a row, by the way. Like, he could have played it here. He could have played it here. And that's the thing, though, because I was like, I think I circled the point where I allowed rook b2, because I was like, wait, how the hell did I allow that? Like, what went wrong there? And I was like, couldn't he have played that earlier? I don't understand. And yes, he could have played it earlier. He's just moving instantly. So after rook b2, I'm sad, but I tried to get this move to work for like a long time. I thought for 20 minutes after this, and you know, this just isn't working. Like, I wanted this to work and it just doesn't. He just takes it, and then he doesn't have to do this. So he just takes my rook and I'm losing. But I tried to get all sorts of like funny shit to work, like f6 I considered, which is a little bit better than this, but again, like, he can just take it. And then I realized, like, I have nothing better to but just do this and go into the endgame, and at least I have an active rook on b7. So I'm down 3 pawns. And my opponent plays this very, very weird move, rook d7. And this is another point I circled. I played rook b8 here and or no, sorry. This is a good move. I played rook b8 here and circled it. It's the only winning move. But I was so confused because even here, I'm just winning. Because his knight is completely gimped and his king can't get out. And why did he put his rook on d7? I will never understand why he would put his rook on d7. But I still circled the move because I was like, well, what was I supposed to do? I don't know. c3. And I think the easiest thing I could have done was bishop d1, bishop a4. No, I circled it after the game. Like, I was sitting there after the game was already over and I was going through the game in my head. Like, what the fuck happened? I think bishop d1, bishop a4 is the easiest way to stop this because it's just the pawns have, you know, keep them on the dark squares. And then this is a really good bishop. I played f6. And again, the computer says it's a mistake, but if I go at a higher depth, I don't think it's a mistake. I mean, white's still better. c2. And I feel bad about these games too, because I played so many games, I have a hard time remembering exactly what I was thinking in every position, especially when I had no time. I actually didn't realize that my g-pawn was hanging, and when he took it, I was very surprised. And then I thought I was losing. And then I played 5 only moves in a row to keep an advantage. With no time left. So, white to play and keep an advantage. I still find it kind of hard to believe that white is better here, just due to the... If black can get out of this pin and activate his knight, I feel like I'm losing. Rook g2 or f takes e7. Both are incorrect. Yeah, I write down the clock times after every move because they kind of encourage you to do that, because if the clock dies or something mid-game, then you know how much time you each had, so it's easier to fix. White to play and not lose. No, white to play and keep an advantage. White is like plus 1.5 here. Even if you find the right move, like you have to find the right follow-ups too. So if I play e5 right away, takes on e5, then what? Like I can take on e7, rook takes c, of course. Incorrect. So in this variation, I can take with the rook, and then I can just go back, and I'm attacking the pawn. And I cannot play rook d2, so I'm just losing this pawn. I can't take on c5. So this is the right idea. However, if you throw bishop g4 in first, it makes it a hell of a lot stronger, because now after e5, takes, even if he takes with the rook, I'm already hitting this square, so I can play d6, and this is not possible. So then he just has to put his rook here, and it's just stupid. Thanks for the 200 bits! I have a hard time saying that name. Poingales. Poing ales. Poing ales. So, e5 takes on e7. He takes with the bishop to blockade, probably. How much time did I have? So I spent 4 minutes on bishop g4, 3 minutes on e5, 1 minute on fe, and then and again another only move is rook d2. Now I have 12 minutes left. And bishop g5, and now again only one move to keep the advantage, and here is where I didn't find it. So white to play. We've successfully created a pass pawn. We have winning chances. Go us. The knight is still gimped. We want to keep the knight gimped. And during the game, I had no idea what the evaluation here would be. I would have believed you if I said I was losing, winning, or if it was equal. So rook g2 is what I played, and it's bad. And unfortunately, I only spent like 30 seconds on this move, unfortunately. Because I was trying to budget my time. I have 12 minutes, my opponent has an hour. 58 minutes. Yeah, rook d1. Very nice move. Just gotta stay on this, you gotta stay supporting this pawn so that this is always a threat. So he has to keep both of these stupid pieces here. I think we looked at, this is a line I looked at with Josh. Or is this a computer line? What is this? This has got to be a computer line. This isn't what we looked at. Like if he can't even go back and blockade because I just play d6 and I'm winning. So how does he deal with this? It's really not clear. Maybe king g7 to try and make the knight mobile. d6 and this is a big threat. Like c4 and then I'm just I think the computer wanted something fucking weird here, like h5. But like knight g6. And then b-rook? And even this, like, he has 5 pawns for the rook. This is not easy to win. I don't even think it's clear that white is winning. What happened? But I played rook g2 because I was like, I just wanted to keep the knight bad. But he goes h6, d6, king g7. This is still equal somehow. I find it pretty shocking that white's not lost here. And I went here, completely missing king f6. And then I was upset, and then I went here, and now I'm just kind of losing. And then I lost in like 3 moves. But that's like how hard this position is. Like if I'm not making the best move every move, I lose. And eventually I stopped making best moves. I just didn't see this was possible. He has a lot of pawns. Were there any good games? We already looked at all the good games. So I just didn't, like, I was just like completely... I didn't know what I did wrong. I felt like I played most of that game really well. And it was just frustrating because he played bullet with me and he still just beat me. And it's just a really terrible feeling because I don't know how to manage my time playing people who make every move instantly. I just don't know how to do it. Because if I also move instantly, then I'll just get a bad position because I'm not very good. Again, it's a skill issue. If I were better at chess, I could make normal moves fast. I think it made me feel a little bit better to know that like most of his moves were okay. And I had to, like, okay, D1, here's the only move. And I think I could have understood that if I thought more than 30 seconds, but I didn't allow myself to, because only now am I trying to budget my time. After I've, like, seriously fucked myself in time pressure. Just play more bullet. It's just depressing. And I just didn't know what I had done wrong, and I was sad. And that's how this game went. So, you know, the next round I, like, completely lost faith in myself, and it was definitely, like, the most just, like, lifeless loss of the tournament. So, that's next.